Do you really want to increase your confidence in public speaking, whether it's online or offline, or maybe both? Well, today I'm going to talk about this and some experience I have in this area. And if you stay until the end, I have an extra special point for you then that you won't want to miss. I've been in times where I was so nervous, I was trembling to walk in front of people, or even this, when I sat down to say my name in certain work environments, right? And now, well, the other day I had Toastmasters and I went back because I hadn't been back. By the way, Toastmasters, if you're not familiar, is basically a public speaking practice opportunity with a nice bunch of individuals. Obviously, I've never been to every Toastmasters meeting in the world, but it's a worldwide thing. So they have them in loads and loads of countries across the world and in your local cities and communities. What you have the opportunity to do is go and practice public speaking in front of people who are not going to criticize you. They're not going to hurt your feelings. They're just going to give you constructive feedback, and it gives you an opportunity. Anyway, I'd done it like 2-3 years ago, and I'd done a little bit when it sort of went virtual during the pandemic. And I got quite good at it. The first time I started, I was really, really nervous. I was like, geez, I'm not going to stand up and speak in front of people for 30 seconds. And I managed to progress. I managed to go through a certain pathway, which enabled me to get more qualifications in it. And then it enabled me ultimately to be more confident in public speaking. Going into different opportunities that I've done, one to notice, I was in Vegas in a conference speaking on the same stage that Dr. Joseph McClendon did, and he shared the stage with people like Richard Branson. All right, so being able to do that is amazing, and really love that opportunity. And obviously, I created a podcast out of it. Now, at school, I used to be a little bit nervous as well, but I actually built my confidence up through just being familiar with people and just taking action. And as simple as it sounds, that's actually one of the keys to improving, right? We're going to go through some practical steps for actually improving it, whether you're like someone who's like, oh, I just want to get a bit better, or you're like absolutely terrified of it. And we'll go into why that might be as well. But I've noticed that's a general thing in life. The more action I've taken, the more I've been able to progress. Now, there's obviously other things like your psychology and your mind, how you work through challenges that have got blocks like this. I'm going to go into that as well. So let's start diving in, because now I'm a person, and I went to Toastmasters the other day, not being for ages, just walked up, had to stand on stage, felt totally confident. And that's not natural. That's practice again and again and again, and certain things I've implemented that I'm going to share with you. Right, because I used to tremble, I used to be terrified. Right, so the thing I want to bring up first of all is there's a great book called The Gift of Fear, and it's by an author called Gavin de Becker, I think his name was. And this came to my mind when I was writing this episode. And it talks about public speaking being a huge human fear because it's linked to the fear of rejection and the fear of losing your identity. Our brain's a survival mechanism. It's looking for dangers constantly. And when it's not got real dangers, like, a criminal coming for us or a wildlife animal coming at us, it starts looking at other things because it's still got its job to do for real, dangers. And when you start deep down, you're actually linking public speaking to the fear of rejection and loss of identity, which leads to your survival, right? Many, many years ago, we're talking quite a lot of years ago, like the caveman, that kind of tribe, if you had rejection or loss of identity, you'd be kicked out of the tribe, which meant your survival, being out in the wild, was a challenge, right? And that's still with us, part of that. And I remember reading about this and it made a lot of sense, right? Also, though, this is going to be triggered off differently for different people. Some people may have had experiences as kids, for example, when they were silenced, told not to speak up, or they'll be really told off, right? That's not obviously a pleasant experience, but someone who was encouraged as a kid, for example, to speak up, share who they are, be enthusiastic, is not going to fear public speaking as much, right? That kind of makes sense as well. Yet, I do genuinely believe it is reversible for anyone. Just, you got to put the work in. And there's all sorts of professionals, if you're really, really stuck, out there that can help you today. Now, I want to ask you, how is it helping you being stuck in this, like, I'm no good at public speaking, I'm no good at public speaking, and just lacking confidence in it. Well, for me, it wasn't very good. And the narrative didn't improve until I got better and then started saying a different story to myself as well. So let's go through 3 or 4 practical solutions. I was going to say 3. I've just thought of another one that I'm going to share with you. And that is the words you say to yourself, right? The words and pictures we have in our head determine how we feel about ourselves in given situations. If you're saying things like, I'm not a good public speaker, I'm not a good public speaker, I'm not a good public speaker, guess what's going to happen? You're going to hold yourself back and you're going to halt your own performance, right? So change the words, right? And you do that, and it may be a bit of work, mental work, because you're going to have to catch the negative ones and then start reversing the words and the pictures in your head. So that's the first one. The second one, break it down. Like, if you're terrified, so terrified of public speaking, you want more confidence in it, don't start in a room of 100, 200 people. Don't. Fair play. That's a lot of courage. Yeah, it might just be a bit too much of a jump from you. And don't compare yourself and think, well, so-and-so can do it. No, we're all on our different journeys, right? So maybe do what I do and just do an update to a room of 5 people, which I was even terrified to do. Break it down smaller and smaller and smaller. Because when you do that, and you're able to build up from there and there and there, and that will build confidence. The third thing is practice to yourself, right? This is something I see people mess up with in like job interviews and all sorts. They're like, I was just going to show up on the day. They're terrified. And I'd done it. I was guilty. I showed up with a job interview and I came back from quite a boozy holiday from Malia, let's say, in my early 20s. And I hadn't practiced for the interview at all. I thought I'd be comfortable. I was not. I got destroyed. They were nice people. They were good people. And I did get promoted when I actually went for it properly a few months later. But it was like, I got destroyed in that. I just hadn't prepared. So preparation is absolutely key to improving your confidence as well. And then my 4th point, change your physiology. Like, you may be watching YouTube right now, but if not, I'll explain what I'm doing. So if you're not watching the YouTube, what I'm doing is, if I've got my head down like this and I'm like talking to a group of people and I'm like, hi, I'm Johnny. This is my podcast. Like, how much confidence am I going to have? Not good. However, if I stand up straight, and I've actually started changing my podcast recording, I've got a stand now, so I can actually exert more energy towards this as well, because just sitting down doesn't do a massive amount. As well, create as much of an impact. Obviously, I still can create an impact sitting down and recording. So change your physiology. One key is to look up something called the power pose that I've talked about before. Maybe you haven't heard me talk about it though. And it's something developed by Amy Cuddy. All you got to do is stand like Wonder Woman or Superman with your hands on your hips and put a smile on your face. And changing your physiology will change your confidence, because the brain will start thinking, oh, we're in a confident position, therefore we should be confident. That's my 4th one as well. Do that before you go and publicly speak as well. So let's dive into our bonus one in a moment. Okay, so my bonus point for today in terms of how you can increase your confidence in public speaking is study someone who is good at it. Okay, and what you want to study is 3 things: their physiology. Look what they do with their body. Are they slouching their shoulders? Are they looking down? Probably not if they're a confident public speaker. Are they upright? Are they smiling? Are they open? I study Joseph McClendon, my mentor. He's an amazing public speaker. Even Richard Branson wanted to learn from him, right? And he's got a story about that. Or Tony Robbins, fantastic public speaker. You could have your Nelson Mandelas of the world, or whoever it is for you. Like, look at someone who you admire in public speaking. What they do with their body. What are their beliefs? What do they believe about themselves? Like, they probably believe in their message. They believe what they have to say is worthy of being heard. And then what's their syntax? How do they move? How do they structure their speech? How do they go around delivering a message? Start studying those things, and then you could even put in 5 minutes a day to just keep studying them, because then that will start training your mind on what to look for and therefore what to do in confidently public speaking. I want to emphasize the importance of action though, and how important it is to actually take action, because You could do all this, you could meditate, you could like sell these great things to you, but at the end of the day, you won't believe it if you don't take any action. And even if that action is small, take it. Okay, so that's what I got for you today on how to be more confident in public speaking. I appreciate you for being here. You'll improve other people's lives for being the best you. And remember, you are in control of your own self-esteem and confidence.